Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I want to start the video with a big thank you to Marcin and Gregor, because without them the car would still not be in driving condition. So why wasn't the car driving? For that I have to rewind back to September of 2023. I was about to attend the last classic car gathering of the season. So prior to that I took my Maluch out for a spin, and on my way back home I heard a very strange sound, like a whistling sound for lack of a better word, and there wasn't any throttle response anymore. So I took the next exit, which was maybe 100 meters away, and switched the car off immediately. I let it cool down for a bit, and then I tried to restart again. The engine was trying to restart, but there wasn't any ignition, so it failed. I switched it off, called Marcin as my technician, and he suggested that it might be the head gasket. However, there wasn't any oil leakage or any leakage of any kind, so we deducted that the problem must be somewhere else. So I called road assistance, which arrived maybe 30 to 40 minutes later. The technician tried to repair the car. He removed the carburetor, checked it, but in the end he wasn't able to help me, and we tried to tow the car back home. However, the car was too narrow, so I had to call another company to tow me away. It arrived again 30 minutes later with a flatbed, with an electric winch, so that was easily done. The car was transported back home, and I tried to make an appointment with a mechanic that was referred to me. However, this didn't turn out, not for lack of trying, but there wasn't any response back, or something else came up, whatever. And so the car was in the garage for the last 6 months. Last week, Marcin called me up and asked me about my car. I said, sadly, it's still not driving. And he immediately suggested that he and Gregor will visit me and check what's wrong with the car, see if we can repair what went wrong. And so yesterday they visited me and we started working on the car, and that is the topic of this video. So let me just show you what we've done yesterday. Sadly, the interior is still not done. I will get to that maybe in the future. So the first step obviously was to remove the lid. We put it safely on the side, and then we had to remove this bar here. It was done pretty quickly because there's just 4 bolts to remove. I had to unwire this thingy. Those are the stop light and the tail light, and then we were able to remove it. Of course, we had to loosen this bolt as well. Then we had access to the distribution here, and the next step was to remove the pulley, the fan belt, and it is not very well visible here. We had to unscrew all these bolts. I guess there's 8 of them. This was easily done. However, opening up the cover, the lid here, was pretty tough because as it hasn't been removed in many years, it was pretty much stuck, so we had to use a little bit of force. Then underneath that there's a very big bolt, a 32 bolt, and a couple of years ago I bought the right instrument for that, and it came out very handy. However, removing it was a little bit tough because trying to remove it or open it up, loosen it up, it turned, so we had to block it a little bit. This was the moment where Gregor's handiwork came in very nicely, because a couple of weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, he built up an engine all by himself, so he has some aces up his sleeve, and that was then done. And then we had access to the timing chain. It was ripped in half and it was stuck in gear. And this was the problem that made the whistling sound, and I didn't have any throttle response anymore. Luckily, I had a spare set that we were able to use, and Gregor made it work very quickly, maybe 30 minutes. And the next topic, or the next thing to do, was to put everything back together. We did that. That took another 30 minutes, and then we tried to start the engine. It went, or it did work. However, again, it died immediately. So we checked the fuel filter right here. This is the new one, and the fuel filter didn't have any fuel in it, or more precisely, when it did, it leaked. So of course there was no fuel in the filter, and therefore the car couldn't start. So we drove to a local store, bought this new filter, installed it, and the car switched on almost immediately. Of course, it was standing for the last 6 months, so the first start was a little bit rough, but now the car starts immediately. So all in all, with some talking points, it took 3 hours. And of course, I wouldn't be able to do that. I've never done that before. I wouldn't even try to do that. But with Marcin's and Gregor's help, a few hours and the car is running again. If I had it at a workshop, it would have cost me at least 800 euros. So again, a big thanks to Marcin and Gregor for their kindness, for their help, that the car is now running again. So what's next? The next thing is I have to make an appointment for the technical inspection. Normally I try to have it done by December. However, the car wasn't driving, then winter came, so of course that wasn't possible. However, in Austria we have the possibility to postpone it up to 4 months later, which for me is April. I'm going away in the next week, so after I'm home I will make an appointment. Hopefully everything is in order, and then I will enjoy the car as much as possible. And hopefully, and I'm sure of that, Marcin, Gregor and I will take part in lots of classic car gatherings, some round trips like last year with Marcin and his brother-in-law when we visited some lakes here in Upper Austria, which was an amazing trip. And that is something that I'm very much looking forward to. So basically that's it for this video. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up button, leave your comments down below, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye.